Ho 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 everyone, welcome to Burning Spears. I'm Richard, and today is going to be the first of my Christmas lunch, Christmas dinner specials. I'd like to showcase venison. This is a roe deer as a Christmas roast or smoked meat, because I think that there's a certain stigma attached to venison with a lot of people, because I mean they're cute animals, right? Deer and buck, whatever you call them, are very cute things. But they are a valuable resource, always have been. They've supported humankind for thousands of years. And when you know where you're getting them from, or you're hunting them yourself and putting them to good use, then there's simply nothing wrong with utilizing a good resource. In this case, this little 15 kilogram roe deer was part of a culling hunt. So for those of you who don't know, culling is when you kill a certain amount of gender or just species to allow it to thrive and sustain itself. It doesn't get out of control and, let's say, eat all the vegetation in the area, because there's too many. Then a lot get skinny, starve, get diseased and die because everything's out of balance. So culling is our way of maintaining some sort of balance. We figured it out. It's more humane than nature. But the meat is wonderful. So in a little while you'll see the brining process. I put it on to brine last night, and it's been in for about 16 hours. So I'm going to pull it out now, and then I'll get some nice close-ups on that for you. Right, so you can see the brine has done its job. Smells beautiful, a lot of flavour in there. Get a close-up into the sort of ingredients, how it looks. Now, you can see that the brine has changed the molecular structure of the meat slightly. The vinegar has certainly cooked a little bit of it. This was against the side, that's why it's red. So the vinegar's has penetrated, done some work. I haven't taken the silver skin almost sock off because it'll take off too much meat. I'm leaving that on. I'm going to be doing this low and slow today. So you've had a good look at the deer leg, and it's going to turn out just great. Now, having not being a massive experienced cooker of venison, I did quite a bit of research, and again, typically the research got confusing because there's so many different methods and theories and ideas going out that are out there, that you sort of are stuck with what you should do, and how you should do it and which way and what result. You even get confused as to what end result you want if you research long enough. So I decided to go back with basics. I'm going to low and slow this, like I'm not going to typically roast it. I'm going to low and slow it. I'm going to wrap it, and all the usual things that are done with like the pulled pork and the brisket and ribs and stuff like that. I'm going to use a very similar process. I'm going to use the meter probe to guide me today, and I'm going to put a binder on of olive oil, and the gaminess pretty much. This wasn't an extremely gamey smelling meat, but the vinegar and the garlic and all of that sort of thing was put in there to counteract that gaminess. So I'm not getting too much of that gaminess. There might be some sort of still inherent deep in the meat, that gamey flavour, but it shouldn't be too bad being a nice young animal like this. And I'm going to use other ingredients to sort of still tackle that gaminess. So the things that you would typically use, right, are herbs, garlic, red wine, acid like a vinegar, and I've got dried thyme today. That's pretty much what I'm going to use. So I'm going to do a seasoning covering of salt, pepper, thyme, and dried garlic. Now, it's a lean meat, right? So how do you stop it from drying out? It's quite difficult to stop it from drying out. Just like a turkey dries out. So the method I'm going to use today, apart from the wrap, the slow cook and the wrap, to keep as much liquid in as possible, is I'm going to keep it basted in I'm leaving the membrane on, and then I'm going to keep it basted in ghee. clarified butter. You could use olive oil, anything that you want really to sort of keep an oily layer around the outside of this, so that moisture doesn't escape. That's my theory, that's my plan. It should work. I'll lie if it doesn't. No, I won't. So we should see a very good result. Such a beautiful tender piece of meat this, and really looking forward to tackling it. So let's get on to seasoning. Okay, so the night before, brine. Ultimately I would have liked to have done a 48-hour brine on something like this. I just didn't get organized quickly enough. 24-hour brine would be a sort of basic minimum, but I'm probably going to be looking at 12 plus hours, and that'll do something. It's not ideal, it's not 100%, it's just going to have to work. So there's many reasons to brine. Some people like it, some people don't. There's many different ways to brine. I generally use equilibrium brining, which is a carefully measured brine, and you have to separate your bone weight from your meat weight, and basically it concentrates exactly the amount of salt that you need for the weight of meat that you have, but that you need time on with a whole joint. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a really simple brine, and it'll make, like I said, it'll make some difference. So a couple of very small pointers. I've got a container here that I'm going to brine in. It's got a closed lid instead of wrapping it in cling film or something like that. So it's in there, and now I can see where the meat is going to sit. And when I'm pouring in my brine, because I don't quite know the amount of brine I'm going to use for a 2.3 kilogram deer leg like this, I'm just going to know that that's my level. I'm going to use one measure, which is a liter, with the ingredients of the brine. So 1 liter of water. I should come pretty close. I'm going to have to maybe do a smaller measure just to top up, but you don't want to waste your time with liters of liquid above what you're trying to brine. So I place this deer leg in the container, and I can see pretty much the level that it's going to be. So I'm going to zoom in and basically take you through the basic brine and show off this leg before I brine it. So once the introduction's done, it'll make sense, and this will go in the fridge straight afterwards. So let's get on with that. So here is the 2.3 kilogram roe deer leg. Beautiful piece of meat, beautiful animal, nice and small. Meat should be tender, should be very sweet, and it'll go in. So basically I want to use a liter of water to 2 tablespoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Like I say, this is a basic brine. It's nothing specialized like an equilibrium brine or gradient brine. I use a nice quality sugar instead of that white refined stuff. Alright, so straight away with my meat coming up to here, I can see that that's not going to be enough. So off the top of my head, I'm going to run through another 3 of those, except in one of those I'm going to put some vinegar in, which I'll explain in a bit. But let me just get all that ready and in now that I've got some idea of how much brine I'm going to make. Alright, so when you are brining game, or when you are trying to get a lot of the gaminess taste out of game, venison, deer, whatever your particular animal might be, you want to get rid of that gamey flavor. One of the good ways is the use of vinegar, red wine vinegar, etc. I've got apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to add a cup of that in to the liter of water. So it'll be 750 milliliters of water. and 250 milliliters of apple cider vinegar. I'll just get the other 750 water quick. Right, so that is 3 liters of water, 6 tablespoons of salt, 6 tablespoons of sugar for your basic brine. Couldn't be easier. Remember, that's 3 liters of liquid, so I've got a cup of apple cider vinegar in there. Just want to give it a little bit of a stir. This is room temperature water. I don't want to use warm water to dissolve this and then put cold meat in and have the possibility of setting off any bacteria or anything like that, which loves warm water. So that's the basic brine mixture. Then I like to chuck anything in. So I've done the salt. I'm just going to throw in some pepper. I've only got 1 lemon. I've only got a red onion. Head of garlic. Then herbs play a very good role with a cure, and especially with game. A nice strong herb like thyme or rosemary. I will be using thyme in the cook, so I'm going to use rosemary in the brine. And I'm just going to bash this with the back of the knife just to get to bruise it and get some of that flavour out. In that goes, just like that. Then simply because I want to be fancy and chefy, I've got some pickling spice here. That's got bay leaves in, some chilies, coriander, allspice, a bunch of herbs that sound really good. Whether or not it imparts much flavour, we'll see, but it can only improve that. A little bit of a cinnamon stick in there as well. Again, there's no precise measurements here because the salt and the sugar are the main ingredients that are going to soak through at molecular level. I'm just giving it a little bit of a boost, a flavor boost. Certainly some of it will have that. I'm not removing the silver skin off this because I'm going to cook it low and slow and you waste too much meat. So in we go. So one thing you want to make sure is that your meat is covered by the liquid, especially with a long brine. With a short brine like this, it's not too serious, but like you see, I put this lemon, half lemon on the top of the highest part, so when I put the lid on, it'll keep that underneath. You could use anything really to pack that and keep it submerged and deeper. I want as much chance for this liquid to penetrate as much as possible. And there we have it. That's going in the fridge and we'll get on this tomorrow. Looking forward to this cook, man. Right, so I'm using olive oil as a binder, which is what I typically use. You can use anything, mustard, hot sauce, but I like olive oil. And then typically this is the best time in which to impart flavor. So I've got dried thyme here. I've ground it up a little bit. Freshly ground black pepper, kosher salt, and then garlic granules. So you've got to be generous with your salt. It's a big piece of meat on the outside. The seasoning is just on the outside. Okay, I've had the Kamado Joe sitting at 125 degrees Celsius, 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And I have it set up indirect. I've got my heat deflector plates underneath and my drip pan in to catch some of the juices so they don't smoke or flare up or anything. Not that they will, because it's not very fatty. But that is just going to sit at that temperature. Got my meter. I'm going to choose the best place to put it in, nice deep in the middle. And today I'm smoking with mulberry wood. I was going to save this for some duck, but I've still got some left. So, should be a great combo. Berries and venison, best friends. Very Christmassy. Okay, so we've been about 2 hours. Still a fair way off. Nice and relaxed. You can see some smoke colour there. I won't be going for a dark bark like a brisket or anything like that because it's just not what we're doing. So now I want to put some ghee on. Just to provide that moisture barrier. Okay, 2.5 hours and I'm 50 degrees internal. I want to take it out because I'm not going to be going to the 95 Celsius, 203 Fahrenheit, sort of typical low and slow temperatures. So I'm going to take it out and wrap it. Right, so I'm going to pour this ghee over it. Okay, so it's been about half an hour later and I've got an internal temperature of 57 degrees centigrade. That is the sort of medium rare temperature. And I'm going to now rest it for an hour and then dish up. There's a big important rugby game on at the moment, so perfect timing. I'll be dishing up during the second half. So can't wait to show you what this looks like. I'm going to see what the end result looks like. I might sear it at a very high heat just to get some nice color and crust, get a hard crust, you know, after this wrap and ghee and all that sort of thing. I might just bring up the KJ to, I don't know, 300 degrees, 350 degrees centigrade and just give this a kiss of flame just because I can, and I think it's a good idea. Can't wait to see this. Okay, so this little baby is rested. Look at the steam still coming up out of that after an hour of resting. Wow, this smells good, man. This smells so good. Okay, I can see that this is still juicy, beautiful. So I'm going to put it on the Kamado Joe, nice and hot, just to get a bit of color and look a little bit more like a roast. So looking forward to the results. Smelling amazing, looking amazing. Okay, cold night. I'm not going to wait too much longer. Let's see. Beautiful, tender. My word, that is delicious, soft. Right, so what we have here is lemon and Parmesan parsnips, brown sugar and butter carrots, slow roasted beetroot and sweet potato that's mashed with butter, and then Brussels sprouts that have been fried with a black garlic chorizo. And then of course the gorgeous meat. That, my friends, is a Christmas plate you can be proud of. Cheers, guys. It's time to eat this lovely Christmas dinner. Now, it's traditional in the UK to have a red currant jelly with venison. You could use cranberry, anything berry. Berry is the name of the game. And the gravy that I've got on here is a red wine and thyme gravy. But meat is so tender, it's almost too tender. The brine certainly worked, probably almost a little bit too well. Tasty. Brussels sprouts, when they are cooked well, are amazing. I never used to eat them when I was young, but these are fine. Sweet potato, beautiful. And something not a lot of people eat is roasted beetroot, amazing. And parsnips. Parsnips are astounding little creatures. That depth, that earthiness. Wow, that is fantastic. You are watching this for a Christmas idea, or around Christmas, or any time of the year. I wish you a happy Christmas. Whether it's in the future, or the immediate future, or in the past, I hope you had a good Christmas. Christmas is a time of giving, so I'm going to give myself some whiskey. Ooh, and a beautiful plate of food. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this cook. I would have loved to have shown you all the peripheral cooking of all of the other stuff, but that would have made the video a bit long. But please think about using venison as one of your Christmas roasts. The roe deer that sacrificed itself for this really did a fantastic job, and I'm happy to use it and eat it and enjoy it. Thank you, roe deer, and I hope you weren't one of the ones pulling Santa's sleigh this year. But there again, I've been a very bad boy, so I wouldn't expect anything coming down my chimney. Alright guys, thank you. Keep well. Have a great festive season. And thanks for watching. And that's it. Yes, I'll dish up for you now. Just be a little bit patient. Just enjoying it, man. I've worked hard at this. It's a season of giving, so give me a chance. Have some patience.